Peace, everybody, and welcome to Smokies Insider. This is our look at Tennessee Smokies baseball, and we talk to you today, episode 8, from the stadium as we get you ready for tonight's ball game, which would be the Smokies taking on the Biloxi Shuckers. So it's going to be a lot of fun to be at the stadium, and we appreciate all of you that have been a part of what we've done this year. And tonight, let's take a look at the promotions. You got a game at 7 o'clock tonight. It is Sasquatch night. So we're going to have real live Sasquatches here at the ballpark. One of them is going to perform the national anthem with a saxophone, and the kids are going to be able to find wooden cutout Sasquatches for prizes and a bunch of other great stuff. So make sure you get out here. Tomorrow, the series continues. It's another 7 o'clock game with fireworks after. And then Tuesday at 2 o'clock, salute to frontline workers. So that'll be a lot of fun as we wrap it up. And this will be for the Smokies, the final homestand of May. They'll be back in June, and they're going on a 12-game, 14-day road trip. So going to be gone for a while after this weekend. Need to be here, be part of it against the Shuckers May 21st through the 23rd. That's what's left of the series. Tickets are available, smokiesbaseball.com, or by calling 286-2300. All right, last night the Smokies and the Shuckers played. The Smokies won a couple dramatic games against Biloxi Tuesday and Wednesday. Yesterday, though, did not go the way that the Smokies had hoped it would possibly go. Frank LaSala recaps yesterday's game against Biloxi.
The Smokies and Shuckers playing game 3 of their 6-game series. The Smokies have taken the first 2, but last night it was all Biloxi. After they scored in the top of the first inning to take a 1-0 lead, the Smokies would tie it in the bottom half. Darius Hill, the hero from Wednesday night, led off the game with a double. Hill moved to third on Donahue's single on a play that Cam Devaney bobbled, and then scored on Miguel Amaya's RBI groundout. Smokies would not score again until the 9th, but their bullpen was lights out for the 4th day in a row. There's a couple strikeouts from Wyatt Show in the 5th. We go now to the top of the 6th inning. On the mound, Ben Leeper. He's been fantastic in his first season in the Cubs organization. He struck out 3 in the 8th. Brian Hudson got in on the action. He pitched 2 perfect innings. And then in the top of the 9th inning, Ethan Roberts struck out the side. The Smokies bullpen combined to strike out 10 in 5 2/3 innings. They allowed just an unearned run on 1 hit. The Smokies and Shuckers play game 4 on Friday night.
And that's how things would wrap up. Smokies lost 7-2, so they dropped to the Shuckers for the first time in this 6-game series, and they fall to 6-8 on the year. Everyone chasing Birmingham, not just in the North, but in Double-A South right now. They've got the best record at 10-5. But Chattanooga's hot on their heels. Big-time prospects in the red system playing for the Lookouts right now. The Trash Pandas are a game up, and then there are the Smokies trying to get back to 500 again. Over in the South, the Shuckers are in the race. It's much more competitive with all the teams kind of bunched together. Biloxi in 3rd, tied with Mississippi. Had a chance to talk to one of the guys that really helped the Smokies last night, and that was Wyatt Show. He helped them stay in the ball game with more great pitching. The bullpen's been really good. We're going to talk to one of those guys when we come back. The left-hander joins Smokies Insider. But first, this message about tonight's Sasquatch night.
Hey guys, I'm Rally Ranger.
And I'm Crazy Jay.
We're here in the Smokies parking lot because we've heard that there's been some sightings of Bigfoot.
Let's go hunting. So first, we're going to try some good old-fashioned squawk calls. Oh! Ooh! Whoa! Now we're going to try some wood knocking.
Well, we tried our hardest. I guess Bigfoot isn't out here after all.
We'll have to try again next time. Oh.
Great.
So tell me, how good does it feel to have that uniform on again?
Oh, it feels amazing. It feels amazing to get back out there again. That year off was just, I was tough.
So what did you do during COVID? How'd you pass the time?
Well, I got married this off season.
Oh,
So, um, most of that time was planning that wedding with my, at the time, fiance, but now wife, obviously.
well,
So,
congratulations.
yes, sir. That took up the majority of my time. Other than that, I tried to stay in the gym, tried to stay throwing, tried to stay active. So that way, if I were to be called upon, I'd be ready.
No doubt about it. Well, it's good to see you again in a Smokies uniform. You've spent some time in AAA Iowa, back with the Smokies this year. How do you feel about being back and long term? What's your goal right now? What are you working on?
Obviously working on my craft and just maximizing my pitch potential and how to pitch, I guess, is a better way to put it. Uh, Obviously, the goal is to get to the big leagues, and first goal would be get to Iowa, and then after that, go from there. Really, biggest thing for me this year was probably to cut down on the walks. As you can see, I've been struggling with that as of lately, but it's a work in progress, and especially with the new pitch that I've developed, I got that new curveball this year, and just trying to play around with that and try to get comfortable with that, and that's kind of the toughest part.
How do you go about adding a new pitch? Is that something that the Cubs come to you and say, hey, we're looking at your film, and if you had this pitch, it would help you against maybe other left-handed batters or maybe coming in on righties? How does that process go down?
So it was actually a decision I made. Um, it's always a pitch I've kind of had in the back pocket. I started throwing it a lot in 2019 just in practice, and I like the way it look. It gives the hitters a different look. It's an obvious difference between my slider. So, and I want something that has more of a down angle to it. Makes it a little harder to hit, and just the speed difference as well. That makes it a little tougher to hit. So, anything that makes it harder on them, I'm all for adding to the arsenal.
No doubt about it. He's Wyatt Short, Smokies reliever. Let's talk baseballs. Not baseball, but baseballs. When you were here last time, you pitch in this league, and you're using a baseball that is pretty exactly like the one that you're using now. You went to AAA, and all of a sudden it was this rubber ball that they had in AAA in the big leagues. How much of a difference did that make to your game using that juice ball that they had up there for a couple of years?
It made quite a big difference. Ball flies a little further. It's basically throwing like a marble. It's super hard, barely any laces, um, and then using this ball here is just There's a whole lot more out there now, and there's a lot more out there that I still don't know, so that I'm still trying to learn. And hopefully those few things might be able to push me into that correct direction to get to the big leagues. That'd be the goal, obviously.
Right, and we're pulling for you. Finally, I guess before I want to ask you one Ole Miss question, but I'm not there yet. I got one more question to ask you about the way that baseball is right now. The minor leagues, I feel like, are almost a petri dish now. You know, we're doing experiments with different rules, and in Double-A, the rule is that the infielders have to stay on the infield. And then I think at some point this season, maybe after you play half of the year, they're going to make it to where in this league you have to stay 2 fielders on either side of the base. So they're basically trying to get an idea of the effect of the shift. Your thoughts on that, and maybe some of the other ones, robot umpires in the lower levels. They're going to move the mound back in the Atlantic League. And there's a bunch of different leagues doing different things right now.
Mm-hmm. So the Double-A rule, I'm not mad about it. It's not a terrible, rule change. They have to keep their feet in the infield, and halfway through the season, they're going to do 2 players on each bag. That's not too bad, honestly. I think the worst one is in the A-ball, where they're limiting the pickoffs, and you have to step off and disengage from the rubber. I think those are probably the worst ones I've heard. Now the mound being moved back, I feel like that's been talked about for years. I'm not sure if it'll ever happen, honestly. But the automated strike zone, I could see that possibly changing in the future. You got too many umpires missing calls, and when the game's on the line and you miss that big call, hey, you're probably going to get some heat for it. So I can see why they would want to go to the automated strike zone. But at the same time, if you're a true baseball fan, that's kind of part of being in the game, right? Umpires are what kind of makes the game, frustrating at times, because they make the bad calls and you just got to deal with it, So I could see where it would change, but I could see at the same time where it'd be okay if it didn't.
Yeah, look, if we could get technology to get all the pitches right, wouldn't it be a lot better for the pitcher and the hitter just to know what a strike is from pitch to pitch? And I mean, look, I think that these guys do as good of a job as you can do for the most part. But you're right, a game changes on one pitch sometimes. And I think that that's a rule that eventually would just happen because the technology's there to make it happen. Why wouldn't you want to be 100%? Why wouldn't you want it to be right every time? Even if the guy behind the plate's getting it 80% or 85 or 90, you're still given 10% that you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's talk college baseball. We got a ton of Tennessee fans in this market, and the Volunteers are really good this year. Arkansas is good. Ole Miss was number 1 for a while. You got Vanderbilt. I know you're paying attention to the SEC final weekend of college baseball. Your thoughts on the Rebels?
Well, we got to pull this one through against Georgia. We had a big win last weekend against Vandy. We needed that big time. I have been keeping up, so obviously always pulling for my Rebs. But we need to win this one for sure, because I think it's kind of a make or break as if we host or not, host a regional. So if we win, I think we have a really good chance of hosting a regional. If not, then I think we might be having to travel this year. But always pulling for them, always hoping for the best for them, and always wishing the best for Coach B and Coach Laff and Clem and all the coaching staff and all the players, of course.
Hey guys, I'm Rally Ranger.
And I'm Crazy Jay.
We're here in the Smokies parking lot because we've heard that there's been some sightings of Bigfoot.
Let's go hunting. So first, we're going to try some good old-fashioned squash calls. Now we're going to try some wood knocking.
we tried our hardest. I guess Bigfoot isn't out here after all.
We'll have to try again next time. Oh.
Sasquatch night. That makes me laugh. Crazy Jay and the gang. He's Frank LaSala, and I'm Mick Gillispie, and this is Smokies Insider. It's our daily look at the Smokies, and we want to see you guys at the ballpark as we get ready for baseball, right? Today, the Smokies play at 7 o'clock. It's Sasquatch night. I'm going to miss seeing this ad, Frank.
Yeah, me too. It's a great commercial for what's going to be a great promotion tonight.
All right, well, let's take a look at the starting lineup as the Smokies take the field again, and they try to win a third time already in this series.
A lot of positional changes tonight for Mark Johnson's squad that looks to get back in the win column after losing last night. Darius Hills in right field. We're used to seeing him in left. Levi Jordan's back in the lineup. He'll play second. Miguel Amaya, the usual catcher, is starting at first. Nelson Maldonado's the designated hitter. He has 2 hits. He has a hit in each game since his call-up. Andy Weber's at short. He's pretty much started there every game this year. Christopher Morel's back in the outfield in center. Grayson Bird starting at third base tonight. Eric Castillo gets the start behind the plate. And Christian Donahue is in left field.
All right, Luis Lugo gets the start. He's looking for a bounce back after his last outing.
Yeah, Lugo struggled in Rocket City. He and all the Smoky starters still looking for their first victory. 0-2 with an 8.59 earned run average. Against the Trash Pandas last Saturday, gave up 5 runs on 6 hits in just 2 2/3 innings. So the Smokies, although their bullpen has been really good the last 4 days, would like to see some length from their starting pitching.
Well, Frank, let's remind everyone that they can check us out. They can watch the game. That's really easy to do. You can watch it or watch the replay on MILB TV. You can listen online at smokiesbaseball.com, or you can listen on the radio tonight. The Sports Animal 990 AM will be on the AM tonight as the Smokies take on the, I was going to say Trash Pandas, but it's the Shuckers. They play the Shuckers tonight, the Cubs and the Brewers affiliate. So for Frank LaSala and our entire crew, thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you again real soon. This was Smokies.